Let's go to the naturally inspired moment. We've been talking a lot about fear this past week because this is a component and a variable to our health. A lot of people don't put much emphasis on their emotions when it comes to their health, but it is a variable. Just like, you can take your blood pressure, or you can read all your vital signs. Your fear level has a dramatic impact on your physical results. So, in addition to fear, I wanted to talk about the step before fear, because sometimes it's hard to identify fear if we have a racing mind. And many people are dealing with a racing mind. We have TikTok videos, 15-second TikTok videos. You're watching one after the other. You're on Instagram. They have reels on Instagram, one after the other. Social media, Facebook, like all of those platforms, and even TV. It's training and conditioning our brains for instant gratification. And our brains are trying to keep up with all of this new information as we're scrolling. It's never been this way. We've never had this amount of information put on us this rapidly. And so what we're seeing is people that they're having trouble slowing down their own thinking. Because everywhere you go, it's speed. And so the brain is being led in that cadence of quick. And that type of thinking can lead to things like anxiety, and then burnout, and then ultimately depression. So we need to be in control of how to slow down a racing mind. So here are 5 science-based strategies to slow down a racing mind. Number 1, activate your parasympathetic nervous system with breath. We've talked a lot about this 4, or some people use 4, 7, 4, 8, 4 box breathing. There's all these different patterns, but here's a really simple one. 4, inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, exhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds. This reduces sympathetic fight or flight activity and shifts the body into parasympathetic rest and digest mode. Studies show that this technique actually lowers your heart rate variability and quiets mental overactivity, of course, by calming the vagus nerve. We've talked a lot about the vagus nerve. The reason why I talk so much about it, because it is a tool you have right inside your body, that when you know how to activate it, you can bring instant results into your body. Instant results. Just knowing, taking those breaths, that time out, right? Singing, humming, gargling, all of these things activate your vagus nerve, which brings calmness to the parasympathetic system. Okay, second thing is engage the prefrontal cortex through cognitive offloading. What does that mean? Cognitive offloading. Get it off your chest. That's cognitive offloading. Get it off your chest. Writing down your thoughts or to-do lists activates the brain's executive control center. So this reduces working memory load and prevents the amygdala, the fear emotion center, from overfiring. So neuroscience calls this cognitive offloading, and it literally frees up mental bandwidth. I call it real estate in your brain. If you are constantly dwelling on a situation, a bad relationship, a worry about your health, a financial problem, it's taking up real estate in your brain. Get it off your chest. Ruminating on it, playing it on a tape over and over is not helping solve the problem. Pick a path of action, do the work every day, and get it off your chest. Write it down. If you have to write it down 2 or 3 times, keep writing it down, but do not allow your brain to ruminate in this loop. It creates fight or flight. It creates anxiety, and it does not lead to good health outcomes. Use bilateral stimulation to disrupt overthinking loops. This is a good one. Alternating your eye movements, like following your finger from left to right, or rhythmic tapping. I've talked about tapping as a modality on here before. On each side of the body engages both hemispheres of the brain. So if you're feeling anxious, you can tap actually on both sides, alternating of your body. And because it gets the left and the right going, instead of just being all on the right full of emotion, you can find balance there and calming. So this is kind of called EMDR therapy, has been shown to weaken repetitive thought patterns and calm hyperactive neural circuits. It's a fabulous, right on the spot, something that you can implement. Number 4, apply thermal regulation for nervous system reset. Cooling your face. We talked about this earlier this week. So submerging it briefly in cold water activates the mammalian dive reflex, which slows heart rate and decreases your cortisol levels. Of course, cortisol is your stress hormone, right? Many people are living in overabundance of cortisol levels, that fight or flight stress response. So it's a great way to take control of your cortisol, giving yourself get a bowl of cold water, put a few ice cubes in it, submerge your face in it. It doesn't have to be your whole body right away. You can work up to that, or you can never work up to that, or you can just do a cold shower. It doesn't have to be a big, elaborate, piece of equipment that you have to invest in to get the same result. So the quick psychological reset communicates safety to the brain, reduces racing thoughts, driven by stress hormone. And number 5, shift brainwave activity with binaural beats. Jason loves this one. He loves binaural beats. Listening to binaural beats at 6 to 10 hertz, that's theta and alpha ranges, can entrain your brain activity away from fast beta waves associated with the overthinking and the anxiety. Even EEG studies confirm this induces a calmer, more meditative state that helps quiet a restless mind. Being able to have these types of strategies at your fingertips is the key to being able to be in control of a racing mind. This is what happens, I feel like. And the sad thing is, I think this happens with our kids. Because our kids don't necessarily have the vocabulary to express things like anxiety, think about what it must be like inside of a little body with no real understanding of words like anxiety or depression or, just feeling off, emotionally. You don't have that vocabulary as a small child. And then you're spending hours a day. What have we've learned recently? 7 hours a day. The average child is spending 7 hours a day in front of this portal, this phone, this iPad. It's entrainment. It's their mental entrainment. It's entraining their neural pathways, and it's setting them up, leading them down the pathway to anxiety and discomfort. And then they don't have the ability to express that because they don't possess the vocabulary to talk about this kind of thing. It leads to suffering in silence. And when we don't know what's wrong, as parents, if you're living in the mainstream idea of medical care, the only solution is medication. And the unfortunate thing is medication, and medication specifically used to treat those types of issues, leads to serious consequences that you don't receive informed consent about. So just by having a toolkit, you can avoid that whole thing. You have what you need right inside of your body to create the results you want. This is Naturally Inspired Radio. I'm Tammy Cuthbert Garcia. Stay tuned. We'll be right back for the second hour.